Being a Viking isn't always easy. Sure, there's a lot of catharsis in beating a Saxon to death with your bare hands, we've all been there, but sometimes Vikings need a little help too. If that's you, please enjoy our 16 tips and tricks for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. While you end up leaving Norway early on in the story, you can actually return at any time by hitting the Atlas button in the world map. Fire can hurt a lot if you aren't expecting it. Douse it quickly by holding the dodge button to perform a roll. The skill tree is pretty mysterious, and you may not always know what you're expanding towards. Luckily, you can reset the entire tree or a single point at any time to change things up. The more you expand your skill tree, the more likely you are to invest in skills that increase the properties of gear of a certain type. Get the most out of these upgrades by having your gear complement your skills and try to equip a single type: the bear, the wolf, or the raven. You're likely going to find a lot of locked doors in your travels, but keys should always be nearby. Your raven can detect if a particular enemy is carrying a key. If you can't detect one, it might be the reward of a nearby world event. And speaking of your raven, it does not automatically reveal enemy locations like the last several Assassin's Creed games. You can, however, mark the enemies yourself while flying as a raven to more easily keep track of them. You'll not only encounter locked doors, but also ones that are barred from the inside. Use Odin Sense, think Viking detective vision, to detect the red barricades. This usually means there's an alternate entrance. If you see an icon for a secret entrance on your map, always check them out, as they often lead to treasure you can't reach normally. If your raven detects something under the ground that you can't reach, secret entrances are likely the place to reach them. Most enemies have a power level that's equivalent to the region's power, but there are some exceptions. Certain bosses and wandering zealots will have a reading that indicates their power, which may be well over your own, so make sure you engage cautiously. And to help with those tough encounters, all enemies have ranged weak points, indicated by an orange spot when aiming at them with a bow. This can help you pierce the enemy's defenses, as it will often make them vulnerable to stun attacks. They're not hard to spot, as evidenced by my wife exclaiming, "Why his leg on fire?" While you can actually sneak up and engage raiding targets by yourself, don't forget that your raiding crew is indispensable, and required to loot the bigger cargo hauls needed to upgrade your camp. And to loot that wealth during a raid, you'll often need a crewmate to help you either bust down a door that leads to wealth, or to open a heavy chest that has wealth inside. This means two things. You'll need to revive your crewmates if they go down, and you'll need to clear the enemies in an area near wealth so that your crewmates can help you actually get it. You can parry an enemy attack with any weapon. You don't need a shield. However, if you time the parry wrong, the enemy's attack will damage you. If you use a shield, you can mess up the parry timing, but still block the attack. You can call your Longship to you at any time as long as you're near water. Hold down on the D-pad and then select it on your wheel using the right stick. This is useful for quick, watery getaways, and when you want to traverse long stretches of water quickly. Throughout the world, you'll find walls and floors that can be broken. If there's a nearby red pot, use it to cause an explosion that hopefully destroys the entrance. If it doesn't, you'll need to use a bow ability, the incendiary powder trap. Enemies that use heavy attacks which glow orange can still be blocked and parried, but can sometimes continue with multiple slow hits that will require you to consecutively parry to raise their stun meter. And those are some of our tips and tricks for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Make sure you check out our wiki for all the other tips and tricks not in this video, and make sure you watch our review. And for everything else Assassin's Creed, keep it locked to IGN.